The coffee. Talking to golf.
I'm gonna come up with someone this weekend.
You could tell.
There
I
you go.
don't
you could
write
tell no.
jingles, but if
Nope.
someone out there does, you want to write a jingle
That was
for
like a
the
Wayne's
show,
World spin.
right?
Yeah.
Wayne's World.
Coffee and golf.
Coffee and
Coffee and
golf.
golf. All right.
So, all right, we've already lost half
We
our
lost
audience.
Everyone.
All right, guys. So you know what time it is. Coffee and golf. Of course, we're going to be talking about all the biggest topics from this week's tournament. Of course, I've been so excited for this, for the match play. We're going to get your take. In a minute, we'll tell us some of the matchups you want to see. But of course, why we do this live is so that you guys can jump in the comments and give us your take about everything we're going to talk about. So hop in the comments. Let us know where your thoughts on some of this stuff. We've got so much to talk about today. It's another big Friday. And seeing everybody rolling in already. Good morning, Jeff from Canada. New Jersey's in the house. This is great. So, Mike, first thing we want to talk about, of course, we got to jump right into the WGC. It's like the longest title, the WGC-Dell Technologies Match Play, right?
Yep.
Okay, let's just call it the WGC-Dell for the rest of the time we're have here. But I like this event for so many reasons. If you've been watching Coffee and Golf, you know I've been talking about it for the last couple of weeks. But I also love that it's a 5-day event. I mean, who doesn't like a bonus day of golf, right?
Love the 5-day event. Actually, I really like, my favorite is the Friday through Monday when you have those July 4th or Memorial Day events. But who's going to complain? 5 days of golf, March Madness, brackets are on the brain. So it was cool that they did institute this. I don't know how many years now.
It's been quite some time.
It's been like over a decade at this point.
I think so.
I think so as well.
But we're going to talk about that. I won't even get. We're going to talk about even Jordan Spieth talking about he wants to see a major in a match play format. But right out the gate, first day on Wednesday, we saw some major upsets. First, we saw Rory continuing to struggle. How about him losing 6-5 to Ian Poulter?
Hey, I mean, I could have saw that happen. I think I bet that happening. I did a bracket myself, and I think I took Pultz there. Because when it comes to match play, I love Pultz, and we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
That's for sure. And who else? We had JT. JT lost his first match, or he's 0-2, I believe.
I think JT's 0-2. Nick says he's got his coffee. Venti went all the way.
Venti today.
Yeah. Good to see it. Hey, there's the coffee. Cheers, everybody, by the way. I think what you're seeing from JT is probably a little bit of that win hangover that happens. You get a big win and you get a little bit of a hangover for the next couple events.
I never played well after I won a big event, so.
Right. You never played well? No. I played well. I had a fish and chips streak that was really.
You did have a good streak, but no, in all seriousness, if coming off a good round, I go back into a little bit of a funk.
Okay.
That's just my game.
Wow. Iceland in the house. Sorry, Mike, I am paying attention to you, but I'm also reading these comments. It's
I know,
cool where
fine.
everyone is coming in from.
Comments are coming rapid fire.
First of all,
Iceland is actually on our list. We want to go there and vlog one day.
I appreciate everybody giving the heads up of where you are. Mike in that quarter zip. There it is. Mike looking good in that quarter zip.
Hey, thanks. Cheers. Love the teal.
So we saw that. We also saw DeChambeau losing. This is a cool story. Anton Rosner, his PGA Tour debut, and he comes out and he beats.
Love this. Yeah. What a
DeChambeau.
cool story.
I mean, DeChambeau, arguably the name that's on the tip of everyone's tongue. You gotta be coming into this with a lot of nerves. I mean, if it's your first PGA Tour event and they match you up with Bryson, where all the eyeballs really are, can you imagine that?
It's got to be a great feeling to take on Bryson and then to take him down to make it even sweeter. And this is nobody that just kind of rolled out of bed off the Korn Ferry Tour. He's a European Tour player.
Yeah.
He's been around for a bit, Anton Rosner. And he's got his eyes set on getting on this Ryder Cup for the European team this year. That was what he was quoted after his match with Bryson. So, I don't know. He's got a long road to go, but it was cool to see Bryson go down to someone like that.
Yeah.
Not hating on Bryson, but it was just cool to see something.
Well, yeah, and like you said, Anton, he's not a nobody. I mean, it takes a bit to get into one of these WGC events, but it's still really cool. By the way, Sweden in the house. We've got Kansas City, Canada, Colorado.
Nice.
So great to see everybody. Cody says, come on down to Austin for a round. There is really no place I would rather go, so we're going to put that on our list. I have just always been obsessed with what I see coming out of Austin, from the golf, the weather, the food, the music. I mean, it is the place, so I want to get down.
Sure.
It's another reason why I enjoy this this event every year. We got New Jersey, we got Charlotte. So welcome everybody,
Georgia,
Coffee and Golf.
yeah.
Just so great to see everybody. So speaking of which, let's talk about Bryson for a second. Did you guys see these NFTs? I want to know what your thought is on this. Bryson announced last week, and I'll put this up on the screen here, these NFTs that he put out, and it's a limited edition, obviously. What do you guys think? Is this a good move by Bryson? You think he's hopping on a trend here? What is it?
Well, we love how Bryson's always doing different things, right? And he's he's done the science thing, which was different. Then it was the leaving the pin in before, whatever, all that stuff. But this is unique. This is different. I mean, you made the comment before, Frank. We were talking about it. Like, just imagine if Tiger did this way back when.
Right. And that's what I think. I think these ultimately these NFTs. I think it's interesting. I think anything that brings some sort of fresh new thing to the game. And if anybody's going to do it, it's probably going to be Bryson, because he seems like the type of guy who would get into something like this that's a little bit newer. But, I mean, realistically, these are just kind of digital playing cards. So I think that they could be successful. I think the success and the value of these, and they're limited. There's one of ones and one of 20s and whatever. So obviously there's going to carry a value there. But I think a large part of that value is going to be how he ultimately performs over his career. He's hot right now, so they may go up in value over the next year or so, but how will they be long term? So you and I, talking off air before we started, we're saying, well, imagine if Tiger had done this at the beginning of his career. Obviously that's going to be worth something.
It's got to be
big.
Right.
But
who's buying a 1996,
Yeah, and you and I we're used to. I've got some collectibles and things like that at home, but this is the first we're seeing like digital signatures. We've seen like real physical signatures.
What things
digital.
do you still have? Do you think?
I've got a Whitey Ford signed ball.
Okay.
That I still keep up. I've got like a lot of Yankee baseball stuff.
I was a big comic book guy. I had like the Punisher. Remember the Punisher comic books?
Yes.
From like volumes 1 through like 150, all in mint with the cardboard behind them. The Supermans, the Spider-Mans. I don't know where they are now. I think my brother took them.
What do you guys collect? Drop in the comments.
I'd love to know.
Let us
Is anyone
know.
still collecting anything nowadays?
I would love to know. Go back and look at what the value is.
100%.
Some of those. Yeah.
Definitely.
So really, really cool stuff. And it'll be interesting to see how that fleshes out for Bryson.
This is great. Pete says off to Google to find out what an NFT is.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's what is it? Non-fungible token.
Yeah.
And I don't honestly. I mean, it's cryptocurrency and how that all works. All I know is I think the best way to explain it is kind of like it's like a digital collectible.
Right. Right. Exactly. And Nick says, "I wish I kept all my Pokemon cards when I was a kid." Exactly.
Yeah. There you go. Here, Brandon says he collects golf clubs, baseball gloves, and fire helmets. Interesting mix.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on real quick, because we got so much to talk about here. I want to talk about Rory and the big move that he made. And I want to know what you guys think about this, because it is a pretty big move to work with a new swing coach just 2 weeks away from the Masters. And I want to know, Mike, you had said just last week Rory was your early pick to win the Masters. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I'm still going to stick with it. He did seem a little lost in his first match against Poulter, but you know what? I know he is struggling. He admitted he's been struggling with his swing. He brought on Pete. Pete isn't a stranger to him. Pete's been working with him on days where his current coach, Michael Bannon, when he's not around, he subs in Pete. So it's not a new face. He just kind of put Pete in there permanently. And you know what? I'm curious to see how it's going to pay off, but I don't want to rule him out, because I think ultimately when it comes to Augusta, going into last year, you could say, Dustin Johnson was arguably the hottest guy on tour, but he never performed well at Augusta. Just never did. So a lot of people were shying away from picking him. Turns out he won by, 5 strokes?
Yeah,
he dominated the field.
Dominated it.
So my thought of, when you step into Augusta, I think all bets are off, all things change.
Yeah. And here, flashes up again. Here's Pete. And I'll tell you what.
There he is.
I think where it does make a major move is because he had been so consistent with Michael Bannon for so long, to have him make a little bit more of a move towards him rather than just working with him in Mike's absence is big. But it's like what we see, you can have a great football team and they're just not winning, and you got to shake it up and get a new coach in there.
Yeah,
I think it's the same thing. Sometimes it's just that shake up a little bit. We talked last week on Coffee and Golf about with Rory's quote where he had said he was admittedly chasing a little bit of Bryson's distance, and that was hurting his swing a little bit. So I think this is it's an interesting kind of direction. He might just want a fresh take, because Rory's got everything he needs. He's got all the tools he needs to win, but.
Well, you saw he was reaching out to Butch last year, and so he's been poking around.
People are asking for Golficity NFTs, and this is the best. Ashton says, if I bring a divot, will Mike sign it? He will most
I will
certainly
sign
it.
I'd see. Brandon says I'd pay top dollar for a Mike divot. Jake says I'd collect Mike's divots. I think we've got something here.
Look at this. We could be selling divots. Yeah. Jared says OnlyFans for Golficity selling divots.
I took like a tomahawk
Can I buy divots in bulk?
out of the turf on 18 at Hamilton Farm. I wish I brought it home and I could fed it to the family.
One of my favorites was when we did the recent video at Manchester Lane, and I was rolling them up for you to bring them home. Eventually, Mike is going to resod his entire lawn with his
certain
divots.
patches that need it. So,
right? But we'll see, because I don't know if you guys caught the recent video with Kevin Sprecher, and you guys were working on some stuff, and you went from like 9 degrees down to like 6.
Yeah.
So
starting to shallow some things out.
Might not be as deep this season. We'll see. We're going to be back on the golf course. Actually, we're going to be filming a really fun one for you guys next Tuesday. We're going to be doing another From the Tips challenge. And if you guys watch us regularly, you know we don't have any business playing From the Tips.
No business.
Which just makes it that much funnier.
Yeah, that's a party we're not invited to.
Yeah,
but
we're going to play another one of our 7,000-yard plus matches. We did that at Pound Ridge probably about like 18 months ago. It was a struggle. We were on the struggle bus, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Gotta love those 230-yard approach shots almost every hole.
No doubt about it. Hey, there's the best segue. Speaking of struggling golfers, we got to talk about Ricky Fowler for a second.
Yep.
Ricky, he's a late commitment to the Valero Texas Open. This will officially be his last chance at winning his way into the Masters. And I know I've said this on Coffee and Golf before, Mike, but can you believe he has not missed a major since the Open in 2010.
That'd be an incredible streak to break, Frank. It'd be sad too.
Yeah,
it'd be sad if he doesn't. I mean, does he have to win the Valero?
I think he has to win, yes, because otherwise, I believe he's got to get into the top 50. He's a ways off from that. I don't think a high finish is going to get him in there. He's got to win it there. Sully is jumping in there and letting us know he does need the win. So.
Yeah, there you go.
It's going to be a win or you're out type of thing.
Well, it's cool to see him commit. He's going to give it the last effort. And I mean, you mentioned that there's a possibility to get the invite still. We don't know if that's just a rumor to Augusta.
Yeah.
Could you still get the invite from the board?
I've heard, and you guys can tell us in the comments if this is true or not. I have heard that there's still the possibility that essentially Augusta can invite whoever they want, and he could still get an invite. And the part of the take that I heard on that was that he doesn't really want to do that. I'm sure he wouldn't turn down the invite, but he wants to win his way in. He's a competitor. Of course he wants to win his way in. Right. Jake says, did you see Foreplay's take on him rebranding himself and going as Rick? I did see that. I think it was a funny take, no doubt about it. But I think one thing that they missed the mark on was, and with all due respect, but I think where they missed the mark is saying that he's still very childlike in his address and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think if you look at Ricky, although he's still kind of, cutting edge with what he does, I think Ricky's style has evolved tremendously over the past 10 years. I mean, if you go way back and you look at Ricky with like the really floppy hair, wearing like the orange from head to toe and stuff like that, and now look at some of his look. I mean, look at Ricky. I mean, just even from this recent one, I think he looks like, really, it's still, like I said, still maintaining that youthful, but he looks put together. He looks like he's a grown man out there.
Yeah, but still a fan favorite and always going to be a fan favorite.
Yeah, but I think he's a fan favorite of a lot of guys our age. I mean, guys, tell us in the comments, like, are you a fan? I don't think Ricky's just for the kids.
I don't think so.
I think he's great that he brings the young kids in, but I don't know. Ricky's Ricky.
Ricky's Ricky.
I like
Still
Ricky.
one of the coolest guys on tour.
Yeah.
Not many guys present that cool factor. I mean, we've talked to a lot of these guys, and there are a lot of guys who personalities are not really there with some of these guys. They're quiet. They're very methodical with what they do, but then you always see smiles on guys like Ricky's face. He's just one of those cool guys.
Yeah, a lot of guys here, 30, 25, love Ricky. And this is why we see in the comments how much love Ricky gets. I think he deserves every bit of it, because not only is, like I said, he's always been good for the game. He is, and if you go to a PGA Tour event and you see him there with the other people, you see how much of a supporter and a friend he is to every other guy out there. You think of I'm thinking like Jimmy Walker's big win at Baltusrol and so Ricky was there, standing there, waiting to shake his friends' hands, congratulate them. He gives so much support that, trust me when he said this, because it will happen. When Ricky makes his comeback and starts playing well again, watch the other players line up to support him, because he's always there to support the other guys.
Huge, big time.
Always
Big
there.
time.
All right. So moving on a little bit, want to talk about this new short course. I'm gonna have you take us through this, Mike. What is the news? I mean, Tiger Woods, Pebble Beach, this new course. I've seen some of the pictures. I'm gonna pull one up here. The place looks insane.
Yeah,
Look at that
place. Looks great. And
what is the details here?
All right, so this is the new course opened up at Pebble Beach. It's Tiger's new course called The Hay. Just straight up The Hay, Hay. The Hay at Pebble Beach. It's a short course. He laid it out, just open, like I said, 2021. Let me read something from here. It's a 20,000 square foot facility, but the yardages, it's, I believe, 700 yards, 9 holes. Each hole is like 80, 60, 75. So it's a pitch and putt similar to the Cradle. I don't know if any of you guys out there played the Cradle. It's probably similar.
That's what it made me think of. Immediately made me think of the Cradle. And I love these little additions, these short courses to some of the big resorts, and just gives you another option of something to play. But I'll tell you what, I can have a lot of fun playing a course, 68-yard, 80-yard shots. I mean, you work on your short game, and it looks like this. I mean, oh, my God. Pristine.
I mean, you give me like I
could spend an afternoon there,
drink
no problem.
and a Sunday bag and go out with some of my best buddies and play that course. Take you an hour and have a blast. Do it all day. It's $65 if you're staying at the resort. It's a hefty price tag for a 9-hole pitch and putt, but hey, it's Tiger's 9-hole pitch and putt at Pebble Beach. I think 65 is a pretty good price.
Yeah. Alex asked if Pebble Beach is on the radar. I can't tell you how much we're dying to play Pebble Beach. And in fact, Mike, you remember we had a short video we put out where Mike called and saw how much it would cost to play.
Yep.
So let's put it this way. We're saving our pennies, and we will get out there. And the other thing, too, is we always try to make sure, like, honestly, guys, we don't play a golf course unless we can film.
Right.
You know, as much as the live, some of the stuff would be a dream stuff. I can't even tell you some of the invites we've had to play some Jersey courses that are some.
We just turn them down.
There's some names
because we can't film.
Right. And as much as we would love the day to go out there and do it, like, why we love doing this is we love sharing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the fun to us, is bringing the camera. So the first question we have is can we film? So some of these courses, and I'm not saying Pebble Beach because they haven't turned us down. We haven't gotten that far with them yet. But trust me, if we get to a place and we're like, we want to play, we're going to also ask, can we film it?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You know,
this is a great one right here. Pete, the Pebble Beach Fund from Pete. He sends us. That's great. Thank you, Pete, for the Pebble Beach Fund.
The Pebble Beach Fund.
His comment above goes, where'd it go? Did I miss it? It gave me a good chuckle. The hay, afterwards you can lay by the bay. I just may.
Oh, here's Pete. Pete's super chat. Yes. So, Pete, thank you. You were the first couple of dollars into the Pebble Beach Fund.
Pebble Beach Fund is starting right now.
But I tell you what, if we do get out there, we're checking out the hay because that place looks amazing. And then everybody right now has a bit of spring fever, right?
Yep.
We all want to get out there and play. And we're also seeing some of the backyards pop. I don't know if you guys saw this, but Mark Leishman's backyard, did you see this? Check this out. He has got one epic setup out there.
Yeah.
How cool is it? There's his indoor, but great little green setup. You know, there are a lot of PGA Tour players, and rightfully so, with some really sick backyards. We showed, it was just a couple days ago on Coffee and Golf, we showed Ricky Fowler's front yard. He's got that hole. I think Tiger has three holes in his backyard.
3 greens back there, yeah.
Another one who's got a really good one is Jimmy Walker.
Jimmy Walker.
He's got a couple of holes in his yard.
I believe, yeah. I like his ranch. Jim Nance has that par 3. Look at all these great comments coming in. So.
Kyle Biggers says Tobacco Road today. Kyle, if you're playing Tobacco Road today, man, if so, I'm super jealous.
How is
awesome.
Tobacco Road today, by the way? That's on our radar next month.
And Ashton, he knows. He mentioned you got that sick green in your yard. So, by the way, did the cover come off yet? Springtime.
Cover came off of the green?
Because you cover it for winter, right?
I do. I put the tarp on.
Yeah.
And then I go out there and I trim. I get my little scissors because sometimes some weeds will grow through.
Oh, really?
So they'll grow through the rough.
Yeah.
So real grass is coming through the artificial. And I go out there and I trim them. I gotta get a video.
You're your own grounds guy.
Yeah.
That's great. That's
great.
But
yeah, it's ready to rock. Spring is here.
Yeah. Joshua says only holes in my yard are from groundhogs. I feel you. ER says Tobacco Road is a gem. And by the way, we are working on playing Tobacco Road when we're down at Pinehurst.
Next
so
month. Yeah.
We're going to try to add that to the video series for you guys for sure. All right. Let's do one of our favorite segments, of course, the heartbreak of the week. And there were a few candidates. In fact, we posted something the other day just yesterday where this girl had a near heartbreak and almost hit her in the leg. You could see that on the Golficity Instagram account. But this one, shout out to you guys, because I can't even tell you, the second this thing hit the internet, how many of you DM'd us and said heartbreak of the week, heartbreak of the week.
Yeah.
And immediately we saw it and we were sending it back and forth to each other. I'm like, this one has to be the heartbreak of the week. And Pete McCann just guessed it. Here it is, guys. The through the window. Did you see this? This poor guy. He's just striping a stinger right into his living room. I love that the club drop when he realizes what happened. This will play again here in a second.
You want to trust the net, but you're aiming right at the window.
Right at the window. And this is what so many of the comments were like, why didn't you turn it around? Now, I don't know. Maybe his neighbor's window's in the other direction.
That's true.
Thin to win, Alex says. The mom screaming at the end was the best, says Michael. That was the best. This poor guy. Oh, that's a costly mistake because that's a big window too.
That's a big one. Oh.
I got to think. I mean, I've used these nets before. I got to think. I feel bad for the poor guy. I don't want to put it on him, but I got to think he made a mistake here. Don't you have to kind of like stake them down in the back? He just like left it loose. The netting just rolled off.
It rolled off, so it didn't go right through it.
I don't think it went right through it. It just took the netting and just went right. The ball went right underneath
That's
it.
Even worse.
I think it's just not together. But
Eddie said he did this in a door in his last apartment. His wife wasn't happy. Yeah.
So guys, the moral of the story is when you set up your net, just look at what's on the other side.
Yeah, take a look around.
Take a quick look around. But that poor guy, sliding glass door is super expensive. A lot of people are saying. It's just, hey, if nothing else, he can walk away knowing he's got that stinger shot in the bag.
That's true. Yep.
He's got that stinger shot in his living room.
It was a nice shot until the result.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's jump into another one of our favorite segments, Making Cuts, Making Bucks. Now, we know, Mike, this is a no-cut event, but it is going to be, we're going to be moving into the semifinals and eventually the finals. And a lot of you earlier in the show, we asked you to put some of the matchups you want to see. I saw Answer in there. I think there's a lot of great match play guys, and there's some matches today that I'm really looking forward to talking about. So let's see. I'm going to pull up the brackets as we speak, and then I'll have you dive in first, Mike. Well, first of all, let's talk about last week because you had a pretty good.
I had a pretty solid pick. I went with Russell Henley, finished T3. So it was pretty impressive. I was happy to see that. So let's hopefully ride some momentum this week.
And my guy Keegan Bradley on Sunday, really bad
74 on Sunday was brutal.
Yeah, that just took me right out of the running. But who do you got this week, Mike?
All right, this week, it's easy to say now with him being 2-0, but leading into this, I was a big believer in Ian Poulter. I love his match plays, 14-6-2, Ryder Cup match play record guy. He's 2-0 already this week, which helps my case.
Yeah.
But I think that he's somebody that we can see win this event, not just make it pretty far, but
Jason
win this
says
event.
He's a match play beast.
He's a match play beast, but get this, Ian. I'm looking at the Ryder Cup standings in points. He's not even on the top 20. So of course, is Ian going to get the invite from the coach, the captain's pick? I'm sure he will, but I'm bet like other guys, they want to win their way on, and this could be a huge leap forward. So I'm going to go Poulter this week.
Poulter is a match play guy, no doubt about it. And I think that's a big part of the motivation. In fact, actually, I don't want to miss this because we missed this earlier. There's some guys who like match play, and there's some guys who don't. Jordan is one of the guys who does like it. And I don't know if you guys saw this earlier, but this quote, he said, Jordan had mentioned he thought it'd be a lot of fun if a major championship took on match play. Now, this was super polarizing because I saw some people say they don't like match play, and so you see a comment right there. A guy says no, match play is terrible, and the other one says no. Let's take a quick poll. Just throw yes or no in the comments. Would you ever want to see a major event in match play format? Now, I would say WGC events are pretty much as close as you can get to a major, right? Mm-hmm. I don't think you're going to be adding any majors to the schedule anytime soon, but it's an interesting hypothetical. So yes or no? I'm seeing a lot of yeses rolling in. Yes,
I think they do it a little different, though. I think it should be like March Madness. I think the minute you lose, you're out.
Here's a nope. Well, it's tough. I mean, the minute you lose, you got to, because anybody can have just a bad round, right? Even in stroke play, you can have a bad round and recover.
It's like March Madness. Anyone can have a bad game.
Yeah.
You have to win every single one to be the champ.
Yeah.
And we're talking major. So imagine you had
It
64
could be tough
guys
though,
around the world.
then it could be a largely based on the draw, who you got, who you had to play.
World rankings. Right? I'm trying to
Yeah.
I'm trying to debate it here. Let's see. I don't know, guys. Am I putting up a good case? You take
Brandon
the top
says
60
agreed. March Madness would be a good way to do it.
Take the top 64 players in the world. So that means you'd have Dustin Johnson versus the 64th guy in round 1. Or no, the low guy in his bracket. You do it in 4 different sections, just like the basketball. And that's how you do the major.
There you go.
That would be the way to do it.
I'll tell you what, and like I said, Jordan said he'd like to see it. So my pick, what I'm going to go with this week, I'm going to go with John Rahm, largely because, as you said, we're a couple days in. We're seeing he's already won two matches. But I like when you see the guys who out there want to be playing match play. So earlier in the week, they asked him what his take was, and Rahm said, I love match play. It's one time you get to play one-on-one against somebody else. That shows his true. He's a competitor.
Yeah.
He's a competitor. I've seen him rise up to the occasion when it's, pressure, and this is pressure. You know what I mean? Absolutely. He said, I enjoy it a lot. I really like it. It's just about trying to somehow get it done. Strategies change. It goes back and forth. Sometimes you need to be aggressive. Sometimes you don't. It's certainly something I wish we had more often. So when you get a guy who speaks that highly of match play, you could tell his heart's in it. He's out there. He's grinding. He wants to win. I think it could be.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at these comments.
Jason says replace the PGA with a match play
every year,
every 4 years.
But the killer 5436 says the tournament used to run like that, but they changed it to this current format. So it used to be one and done. But to Jake's point about my point, imagine if you did win it and it was single elam, it would be an epic win.
It would be. And maybe for a major, I could see it. I like the way they run the WGC, the 5 days with the round robin in the beginning.
It's cool,
and
sure.
then you'd have a guy like Rory who could lose bad but then win again and then still be back in it. And you don't end up – because the other thing you can have it like March Madness where your bracket is busted and your team is out and then the viewership could go down if you had a bunch of the big names get knocked out early.
Right.
And I think, obviously, anytime with a major, they're going to worry about viewership.
That's true. I wonder how it would be as a difficulty level because there's a chance that you could be in one bracket and never face a Dustin Johnson. So unlike a major where you have to climb a leaderboard to overtake some of these guys, DJ might be home already on his couch.
Here, Max says it. They changed it because Tiger went out the first round 1 year. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Like a lot of this stuff, don't deny it's driven by viewership,
right?
And especially in the Tiger heyday, if you ever look at the broadcast viewership numbers when Tiger was in the field and when he was out, I mean, everybody wanted Tiger in the field. The advertisers, the tour, everybody. So you get some of these big names knocked out.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, so who knows? But it's a fun event. We still got 2 more days. A lot of you guys are letting us know some of the matchups you want to see. We're excited to watch the rest of it, but really just a big week. And then what do we got? Can you believe it always seems to sneak up on me? The Masters is 2 weeks away.
2 weeks away.
2 weeks away.
13 days.
So we're going to, of course, do a big coffee and golf Friday of the Masters.
It's going to be huge.
It's going to be, mark your calendars. Obviously,
we might have to go a long hour.
We might have to do the full hour. If you guys have any ideas for coffee and golf, what would you like to see on the show Masters Friday? Let us know. Post them in the comments. Even after the live ends, you can still watch this video on YouTube and Facebook. Post in the comments. If you've got some ideas of what we can do for the live show Friday the Masters, we want to hear it.
Green Blazers, Pete.
Green Blazers are happening. Just lock it in. Lock it in, Pete.
I mean,
it's
they're
happening.
hanging up over here,
right?
Pete. They're
lock
here.
it in. But what else? If you guys got something else, we're gonna have to see it. And as far as early picks, Ben is asking who you got. Mike, is it still? Put it on the record. It's still Rory?
Rory McIlroy, green jacket.
Rory McIlroy.
13 days from today.
Anybody think is there any chance of DJ repeating?
100%. I think it's.
You know how hard it is to be a repeat winner.
I think if anyone can do it, it's this guy.
Yeah. We'll have to see. I don't know. I feel like it's too soon for me to throw something out there. I got to dive in and look. I've been so wrapped up in watching the match play that I don't even know. But
even Pete says Rory. Yeah.
Jake says new Masters merch announcement. You know, we did try to put some merch together, but it's just like too much going on this season. We didn't get a chance to do it.
But the hats are coming. We keep talking about that. And
Rory, that's a bold statement.
Yeah, it is a
Mike,
I'm sticking with it.
Like his coffee, he likes it bold.
I like it bold. I'm sticking with it. And I hope I prove all you guys wrong.
There you go.
Frank, I wanted to shout yesterday's video because I saw a couple of great comments above talking about some of the things we've been doing. And, guys, go check out, if you didn't see it, yesterday's office tour video.
Yes.
We came up with a
there we
cool
go.
way on how to get you guys involved in HQ with our comment wall. So we're going to be putting a lot of your comments up on the wall as inspiration. But go back and check out the video. We had a lot of fun putting it together. And, yeah, man.
Yeah, that was it's been a real great ride putting this office together the way we want to put it together. But like I said, as much as we've been here the last couple of weeks, we're going to still work on getting this coffee and golf to you every single week.
Yep.
If we're not traveling on a Friday, we're going to be here with you guys on a Friday. But we are going to be back on the course. We were back on the course just Tuesday. Felt so good to be outdoors again. Filmed some great stuff. We're back on the course next Tuesday. And then after that, April, we hit the ground running. We've got a bunch of great golf courses lined up around New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, as well as our travel, getting back on the road. Guys, it's coming. It's all coming your way for sure. All right, guys, that's everything we have. Again, thank you for watching. It's so great to see everybody and get you guys in the comments. It's why we do the live show. Mark your calendars. We'll see you guys again next Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. We'll be talking about the Valeros Texas Open. We'll see